Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing 1 to the power of infinity. Okay? Now, we're pretty much going to be explaining why you can't pretty much work this out at all. Okay? So, 1 to the power of 1 is 1. 1 to the power of 2 is 1. 1 to the power of -1 is also 1. 1 to the power of, I don't know, let's go e plus pi is equal to 1. Anything to its exponent is equal to 1. Except infinity, right? Now, what happens here is, the reason why this is indeterminate form is for a couple of things, with some limits and to do with logarithms. Specifically, we need to break down actually what we're actually doing here and why, what pretty much does at infinity. So if we were to think of, let's go 1 to the power of 6, that's 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, and then one more 1, okay? Which is equal to 1, okay? If you were to do that to infinity, you're basically doing this an infinite amount of times. Now this can't really work. So specifically, we could use an approximation to work out what this would be, such as the limit. So let's just say we had 1 to the power of a, and we had the limit as a goes to infinity. Now if you wanted to, you could say, alright, this is equal to 1. But there's a problem we have here. Consider two other limits. So let's say we had this limit. So 1 plus 1 to the power of a on to the power of a, 1 on a here, and then 1 plus 1 on a squared to the power of a. Okay? Now, let's put two limits on these. So a goes to infinity, and this one, or a also goes to infinity. Okay? So what we'll get here is pretty much 1 over infinity, which is just 0, plus, well, 1 to the power of infinity, pretty much, okay? So, theoretically what we have here is 1 plus 1 over infinity to the power of infinity. This is technically 0, so we get a 1 to an infinity, okay? Same with this one here. We've just got squared on the bottom, so it's just 1 plus 1 over infinity squared to the power of infinity, okay? Surely these are the same thing, pretty much. Well, if you use calculus techniques or L'Hopital's rule or stuff like that, these two limits actually give two completely different answers. This gives the answer e, which is approximately 2.71, and this gives 1. Okay? Now, while this does kind of work out 1 to infinity, it doesn't work with logarithms. Okay? So if 1 to the infinity is equal to 1, we should be able to log both sides. Okay? Now, let's say we did. So log 1 to infinity gives you log of 1, okay? So for starters, this just doesn't work at all. Mainly because you can't log something with an infinity in here. But let's say we could. What we could technically do is bring out that power to the front. So we have log infinity times by log of 1 equals log of 1, okay? Now, log of 1 is 0, so this side is technically infinity times by 0 equals 0. This is pretty much undefined. It doesn't work at all, anything like that, okay? So, we've come to a couple paradoxes here, specifically with this limit here and this statement here. This is undefined, okay? So that's why we can pretty much say 1 to the power of infinity is pretty much an undefined thing, okay? It's indeterminate, okay? We don't have the techniques to solve this problem yet. So what we do is we just define it as undefined, okay? Undefined, okay? Because we come into two paradoxes. We do get a number, and we get a contradiction here. And there's a couple other problems that pop up, okay? And yeah, that's about it for today's video. I was just going to share this with you guys. Like and subscribe if you want to see more like this, and I'll see you in the next one.